Hey, what is up, guys? Pine Belt Beer Reviews back here again with you today for another one. And this one that I have here today is beer from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee Brewery, Ghost Rivers Honey Wheat Honey Ale. Pretty much just a honey or a wheat style American wheat style beer with honey added, locally sourced honey added into it, along with some sweet orange peel, uh, as the bottle describes. So yeah, this is as I said, this is like just a American wheat ale, basically with honey and orange peel added. Um, Not really a whole lot of information I'm finding on it. This brewery opened in 2008, I believe, Ghost River Brewing Company, but they don't really have a whole lot of um, anything really on their site, or well, on their not on their site, but on the internet. There's not a whole lot on this beer. So yeah, gets a 3.5 on Untappd though. As I said, no like rating on Beer Advocate or anything like that. So I don't really know a whole lot about this, a whole bunch about this beer. So we're just gonna go ahead and port and see what we get. I got this Ghost River Brewing. I just got back from uh, cask tapping at a local establishment here in my town, and they had tapped their 1887 IPA and got the glass for free, so that was cool. So why not use it for a Ghost River beer as well? Let's go ahead and pour this. I think there might be some sediment at the bottom of a wheat beer, but I'm not really seeing much. So, and I can already tell by the appearance it looks pretty filtered, so it's probably why there's no sediment. So with that pour, we basically get, as I said, it's pretty clear, looks pretty filtered, just basically pretty clear, golden, kind of straw gold almost. It's a little bit deeper than any other kind of beer. It gets about maybe a half finger of. It's going to turn into a cap of just sudsy white head here shortly. Got a good bit of carbonation coming up through that though as well. So poured. That was a pretty aggressive pour, but yeah, it's not going to have a whole lot of head, it looks like. But anyway, let's go ahead and go for the aroma on it. Getting the wheat definitely. Bit of a almost adjunct kind of aroma there as well. Not really getting any honey, maybe just a tad bit, little bit of honey, or well, the sweetness that I definitely know comes from honey doesn't really just come from anything. So getting that, but not much else. It's pretty cold though still, even though that the bottle has begun to sweat a little bit. It's still pretty cold. It's pretty cold though. So now it's kind of sit in the glass for a little bit longer, opening up more, starting to get more of that actual honey aroma. So let's go for the flavor on it and see if we can get it there. Yeah, that's where the honey was. It's definitely a honey flavor, like not just not just the sweetness from the honey, but you can tell where uh, maybe it kind of tastes like clover honey a little bit. Not a whole lot of the wheat. It really just kind of reminds me of taking like a teaspoon of honey. Uh, just like a just taking a bottle of honey and just squirting it like straight onto a teaspoon, and I'm getting that flavor as well as almost kind of on the mouthfeel as well. It's kind of got a sort of more heavy, kind of thick, sticky mouthfeel. The wheat's there maybe in the back. Obviously, there's not really any hop bitterness or anything because I don't think there's hops in this. as far as I know. I think it's mostly just yeah, the wheat and the honey. I don't think there's any. I'm not really getting a whole lot of the orange peel though either. The honey is just first and forefront for sure. Maybe a little bit of the orange peel on the back. But I think that the sweetness of the orange peel, if they did indeed use sweeter than the normal kind of orange peels, it's probably just kind of blending in with that honey flavor. And a lot of times honey is pretty synonymous with kind of having a citrusy kind of taste as well. Like there's a lot of like clover and orange honeys out there, and so it could be that I'm just attributing any sort of orange flavor with just the honey flavor itself. But the mouthfeel is like I said, there's a bit of a syrupiness or like a thickness there, like sticky thickness there, like you would get with honey. But for the most part, it's kind of a light medium body, pretty prickly with the carbonation. It's definitely got a crisp, refreshing type of mouthfeel. The finish is pretty wet. There's no information on the ABV with this beer. I'd guess from the mouthfeel it might be, and the style, maybe a little over 5%. I can feel kind of a little bit of like the warmth from alcohol on the finish, so I'm guessing it's a little bit higher than like 4.5 or something like that. So it's probably like around 5 or 5.3, maybe 5.5. I'm not gonna really guess though. I'm not entirely sure. So, but overall, it is a decent honey ale. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the honey type beers because I typically don't like beers with honey flavors or anything like that in them. Same goes for fruit beers, because a lot of fruit beers will have kind of like a honey kind of thing going on with them too. But I do like honey by itself, and so this is definitely a good honey beer to go for. Given the fact that I don't really care for honey beers that much, I will go ahead and give it a B+. I don't think I'd go any lower than that. It is a very good summer beer to try out if you see it in your area. The Ghost River Brewing Company's Honey Wheat Honey Ale. Ghost River, again, being out of Memphis, Tennessee, so it should be around that kind of Tennessee area, around those bordering states. So yeah, B+ on that, and I definitely recommend trying it out if you come across it. So yeah, B+ on it, and till next time, guys, thank you for watching.